That's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income, you can make music.
This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. Like what the fuck is going on? Who told you that song and did you know all along? And why did your bitch sell that painting 2 weeks after he was gone? I'm gonna tell you what it feels like. It feels a little fishy. Feels like something's going on ever since that John Legend song and college prediction of a Grammy. If you ask me, I can't stand him. Seems a little weird. Question number one, why is there no blood? Question number two, Sam left in the AM is true, but you're talking about the shits all up in the afternoon. Don't trip, we're gonna find out the truth soon. Who did what to who? Did they plan to eat the chili fries or was it just a surprise? Can you see the lies of witness in a cowboy's eyes? Are we gonna just sit here and forget? Are we gonna ride like Nip said? It's a little weird that the judge quit, handing out immunities like candy makes me sick. I got a lot of unanswered questions like, why is the footage all grit and I can't see shit? Who the fuck is that white man in that white BMW? Probably was the FBI. Yeah, I noticed that white guy, and I noticed the car wasn't in the pictures when they showed them afterwards. They thought we would forget, they got that shit backwards. They weren't expecting me to drop this track and raise all these questions with my Mac words. I'm really mobbing through LA smoking backwoods. I've been doing this shit all my life. TMC, AMI. You might just see an empty parking lot when you ride by. Well, me, I see way more. I see an independently owned store. I see the community taking power back, whether you're white, Mexican, Asian, or black. As long as you're not blue. Good ones, there might be a few, but from my life experience, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not defending Eric, but what's the fucking delay? They requested a quick trial, it's been over 800 days. They try to distract us in so many clever, creative ways. Yeah, you got your Grammy, and now you're a billionaire. But what about the families that are still living there? Seems a little unfair, just a little something to compare. I never seen a fireman wearing a bulletproof vest. Yes, the shit to me seems a little suspect. The shit's a little weird. Crisis actors taking away our fathers, making our child some bastards, killing creative men and women for their masters. The waves that Nip wrote in, you didn't know where to begin. A bunch of new chapters. You didn't think about what would happen after. We would put the pieces together on your transparent bullshit. I can see right through it, like the clear blue sky in the LA sunny weather, where the palm trees swing side to side and we ride together on a white horse or a double R hearse in a foreign car. Either way, you gotta be on guard because they're on tap for anyone who's brown or black with tats. Everybody sees it, but nobody wants to attack. It's sad if you ask. We all gotta blast back. We're in the game, though we can't touch the ball. Seems a little unfair if you ask me, that's all. So take your ignorant ass to YouTube and type in Tanika Views to get the real news. We're doing the shit for justice, not views. Sharing knowledge and coming together, that's the real tool. He tried to lead us to the lake, so don't sleep on the knowledge that he gave to me and you. He wanted us to learn from his mistakes, so with our new knowledge, good decisions we could make. And also one thing I wanted to say myself, they killed Dr. Sebi because he was teaching health. Assassins, they come in all shapes and sizes, big booties, hips and thighs. Oh, you're Diddy's girl, right? Oh yeah, John Legend, some things happen at your video shoot. I got a couple questions for you. All those strings you pulled, you still can't make a rap hit. You punk ass little bitch, you probably got a little dick. All the shit that you have to did. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face.
Greetings, chat. Greetings to everybody in the chat. I'd like to say before I get started that everything on this show is alleged and used for entertainment, spiritual, religious, and educational purposes. First one up, at least to show themselves by typing something inside the chat, is of course Kyra knows. I'm glad Kyra's here because Kyra knows. Kyra knows that spiritual warfare is real. And you know what? A lot of other people know too, but they just in a predicament and don't know really what to do. But Kyra is up front first. And the rest are looky-loos, trying to see what it is I'm going to talk about, what I'm going to say. Probably got at least one idiot looking to hear what I'm going to say and that kind of stuff. I'm probably going to say something. You need to keep listening. You ain't going to know when I'm going to say it, but folks going to know when I'm going to say it. That's for sure. They're going to know what I'm going to say. The people who I want to hear are going to know exactly what I'm going to say. So you may have to hang on for a while, a long time. But nevertheless, we are here tonight to share more more knowledge of the music industry and what's wrong with the music industry. And, share a little bit about what happens to people who go against the grain and help other people inside of this industry. Why is it that they want Dame Dash broke? I mean, out of everybody in music, other than Suge Knight, of course, which they put him in jail, largely in part because a meeting that Dame would have with Suge, Irv Gotti, um, Jermaine Dupri, Jay Prince, several other people were invited to that meeting, a secret meeting that these guys had, and they were going to start a black publishing company, and they were going to start a union. Unions have always scared the music industry. The music industry need a union so bad it's absolutely incredible. These artists go through pure hell on earth and they don't have no union at all, period. Artists have to get up there when they're sick and perform. And if they don't get up there and perform, they don't get paid. And it's just a nightmare. You know, you can call your job and let your job know you're sick and you got a sick day off. Artists don't have a sick day off. When they're on tour, they're on tour. And sometimes their money is manipulated, they don't get paid, and they still have to keep touring. And largely in part because the record industry is crooked, and largely in part because they don't have a union who could fight for them. So when Suge and Dame and Jermaine Dupri and of course Jay Prince all got together to go ahead and form this union, all hell broke loose. All their offices were raided by the FBI immediately. Yes, what's up, Shannon Barrow? See you in the building. All right, yeah, you're right. Kyra Aaliyah is stunning, stunningly beautiful young lady, and of course, when you look at her, you recognize that if Aaliyah had still been around, there never would have been a Beyonce. Never, under no circumstance. That's part of the reason why Kanye West and Jay-Z broke up, is because when Jay-Z was there, his wife, Kim Kardashian at that time, with all of her surgeries and stuff, outshined Beyonce. And there was a problem. She wasn't nobody else there who could outshine her. And so there was no way she would have left that girls group and took Aaliyah's spot had Aaliyah still been alive. And it's interesting to me that um, most people never knew, and I reported this years ago, and people didn't know this, even though he's came out recently and said it. I did it years ago when people were talking about where was Dame Dash, you know, when Aaliyah's plane fell. And I told people, I said, Dame, somebody hit Dame Dash, and he was darn near in intensive care. There was nothing he could do, and he still walks with a little limp to this day from that accident that he had in Florida. Somebody hit him and he's laid up in the hospital clinging to life himself. And then, of course, he couldn't send a jet to pick up his girl, and she wound up dead. And there's a lot of mystery behind that and stuff. We're going to talk about a lot of that because she has a lot to do with this too. But nevertheless, Dame Dash took a stance, you know, and his stance that he took was real. They took Dame Dash's company from him, and y'all call it Rock Nation. It used to be called Rockefeller Records, and that place was formed by Dame Dash. You know, that was his baby, and he brought Jay-Z on and brought Biggs on as boy. Jay-Z was a partner. I think Big was a small partner, but however, that was Dame Dash's thing, and Rockaware and all of that stuff was Dame Dash's. He did all of that stuff. Dame Dash should be a multi-billionaire by now, but the industry decided to take his company, and somehow his company wound up in the hands, of course, of Jay-Z. And that's Dame's company. And it wound up in the hands of this man here. And for some reason, Dame just cannot take a break. And it surprises me that people don't recognize why Dame can't take a break. You know, why this man can't do every time he try and make one step, they take 16 steps in front of him and keep him down. I remember when he had a TV show, you know, trying to rebuild some things all over again. They came after him even harder. If the tax people not coming after him, that they'll fire up child support, and child support will come after Dame Dash. And they do everything they possibly can not to let this man get a toehold into um, black entrepreneurship again. Period. They don't want him there. One of the reasons is because Dame Dash shared a wealth of information. Most people are not into Dame Dash's writing. You know, they got an old saying that says if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. But this is Dashology, one of Dame Dash's books, with a wealth of knowledge. And I would recommend any young person who wants to be in the music business, before you get involved in the music business, read Dame's book, Dashology, and read his book, Culture Vulture. Culture Vulture is a great book by identifying how other races capitalize off our culture. Now, I don't see black people messing with Irish. I don't see black people messing with Latinos. I don't see black people messing with Italians. But I see Dame, you know, teaching black people how to not just be in this industry, but how to be bosses. What's up, Darian in the building? My boy Darian in the building. Let me drop that link down for Darian if you want to come up here and talk about this. And a lot of people have not explored, you know, really just what an impact Dame Dash has on this business. He has a serious impact on this business. You know, let's just say this, for instance. If we had to listen to Jay-Z, there would be no Kanye West. But because of Dame Dash, his last move was to get Kanye West. It's down there, Kanye West out there. Dame Dash has a black billionaire in his business. So as Darian get ready to come up, I'm gonna play my thought for the night before I get any further into this. Gotta play my thought for the night. This is, of course, to all the brothers, pay close attention.
Girl that left you and that you're losing your mind about, well, guess what? There's other guys who are glad that she's gone, that she already and turned off, probably 2 or 3 guys since you. Count your blessings, because your wisdom doubled since you guys broke up, but her body count doubled. Do you really want that back? Stop loving those that fucked you over. Stop it with the sentimentality. Remember, emotions are your enemy, and sentimentalism is a trap. The woman that wasted your time, there will be no forgetting. She knew exactly what she was doing. She played with you like a cat plays with a mouse. Learn to despise those who waste your time. Patterns don't lie. How she has broken up with other men is the same exact way she'll break up with you. And all that to say is that save your mental energy for a woman who walks into your life, not the ones who walked out of your life.
And that's my thought for today. What's up, Darian in the building? What you into, bro? Afghanistan here.
Man, what's happening with you, man? Man, how you feeling today?
I am hot dogging, styling, and profiling. And we're going to share some wealth of information with people tonight on why they're making such a desperate effort to keep Dame Dash broke.
Oh, I can tell you about that, brother.
Go ahead and tell them what you believe why they're trying to keep Dame Dash broke there. And listen to Afghanistan, y'all, is a wealth of knowledge.
Hey, man, to me, right, number one is, like you said, man, y'all excuse me, I stuttered, but Dame Dash is the ultimate hustler, man, and he's up on everything before other people is on it. You know, he was the one that, for one, who people think Jay-Z is, that's really Damon Dash.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Damon Dash is the one that told Jay to how to be a businessman. You know, Jay was going to sign like all these little deals with Iceberg and all these Coogee and all these companies back in the day, and he's like, dude, you're Jay-Z, like you're hard knock life, 6 million records sold. So why settle for 500,000 when we could wear our shit? And you know, people are already on a hard knock life tour. People wanted the Rockefeller shirt, right? So Dame was like, since we sold 1 million of those, how about we just make our own brand? You know what I'm saying? And then
Rockaware bringing in over $400 million a year.
exactly. Then Dame was the one that Rock Nation Sports, Rockefeller Sports, Rockefeller Movies, all this stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Then like Dame was the one who knew about streams before streaming became a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Dame was the one that signed. That was when he had control of Jay-Z's catalog. He signed a whole Rockefeller label to get a deal with the streaming.
The roster,
you
that's
know,
right.
yeah. So then like Jay, Jay just backdoors him and just fucks everything up. And why they want Damon Dash broke? I'm gonna tell you the two reasons why they want Damon Dash broke. They want him broke so he doesn't have a voice. And since we're all Nipsey fans, look at what Nipsey thought about Damon Dash book. YouTube that.
Exactly. Culture Vulture. You ain't even got a YouTube because I'm gonna go over it tonight. One of the main reasons, besides the secret meeting that he had to form a black publishing company with Suge Knight, Irv Gotti, Jermaine Dupri, Jay Prince, trying to form a black publishing.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons they took his company. It's alleged that somebody in his company snitched to the record companies, and that was his punishment. They took his company from him, and I believe they took his girl from him as well too. He got mysteriously hit in a car accident while he was clinging to life, and his girl is getting on a plane at that time, and Aaliyah wound up dead, and they took his company and gave the company to Jay-Z. That was because of that meeting with Suge Knight, but they let him stay alive or whatever it may be. But they've been trying. Yeah, exactly. Killer Carr came right in with the knowledge. He tell you who did the snitching. They
Yeah,
snitched.
but I think what your name, and then little do people know, Damon Jay-Z wasn't even the first person that they even wanted to be the president at Def Jam. They wanted Irv Gotti to be it. You know what I'm saying? But what happens to Irv Gotti?
Irv knew that was a bunch of junk because he went on formed his own thing. But it's amazing that on the same day after the secret meeting, Irv Gotti, Jay Prince, Suge Knight, Jermaine Dupri were all raided by the FBI, took everything that they had. And the only person to survive that was Jay Prince. He actually survived with money and everything, and actually lived to see some of those agents actually put in jail. He had to testify against those agents, which were actually going around robbing black record company execs. I think one may be still on the loose, but nevertheless, one is doing time, and they used Jay Prince to testify against this FBI agent who was actually trying to kill him, But nevertheless, so they took his company, but they still let him live, and he still tried to do some things. And every time Dame does something, Jay-Z and them got him in court. Rockefeller got him in court. If it's not them, then they will fire up Rachel Roy, and then she starts arguing with child support. And it's just one thing after another thing after another thing. And it's time for people really to know why this actually happened.
Hey.
And one of the main reasons that this happened is because of this book that Nipsey tried to tell you guys about, Culture Vulture.
Hey, and then Tanique, don't forget another reason. I ain't trying to cut you off, but another reason why they want to silence Dame, because he has a wealth of knowledge. Dame Dash is responsible for that whole 2010 era of Wiz Khalifa, Crit, Nipsey, all them. They Currency. They listen to Dame Dash. Let's not forget. And then Dame just recently said, like, why are y'all trying to get deals with Jay-Z and these people? Y'all need to be trying to set up a deal with TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, because they're going to promote your music. They got the money to front you a tour, and they got the distribution. Wow.
Just like Killer Carr just said, they didn't touch Rockefeller office. They didn't raid Rockefeller at all. In fact, if you listen to Irv Gotti, he'll tell you that they told him at Rockefeller that they were going to be raided. And they were, but didn't raid Rockefeller. Of course not, because you just put up here who you believe allegedly snitched, and that's what is alleged in the music industry. But the point that I want to make is something different that most people forget, contained in this book. And this book here, without him even saying a word, he took it to pen and did this book. And this book changed the thinking of hip hop completely. This book here is the reason why people like Mo3, King Von, Extension, Young Dolph, and these guys became major bosses with major money because Dame Dash's book explained what culture vulture meant and how other folks were ripping off our culture and how important it was for them to keep their masters. And he
Yeah.
came out and talked to them. Prince tried, but nobody would listen to Prince. But for some reason, the hip hop industry listened to Dame Dash, and that's when record companies went out of their mind. And this is one of the main reasons they want to silence Dame Dash. What is the chances of all those rappers, man, dying, being murdered like that? Because Dame Dash addresses this in his book too. But all these rappers that were murdered, and I got a list of rappers that have been murdered, and it actually blew my mind, Afghanistan, because those record companies, some of them received millions of dollars because these rappers were dead and never shared it with their families or anything because they had to sign this. And this blew my mind. I could go deeper into this, but I'm not going to. Take a look at this. It says, according to George Chidey, labels could have a predatory life payout strategy targeting artists most likely to die. So they target these artists which have gang affiliations and stuff like that. But before they are signed, they have to give these record companies a predatory life insurance policy that could go upwards of $100 million. Even though they may get $5 million for signing, the record company knows if they die, if they're shot at Makita's Cookies or something of that nature, or they get shot because they wouldn't sign, the record company still can get upwards of $95 million. What you got to say about that?
Yeah, you right. And then they turn around and find out majority of these artists is worth more alive than dead at the
They're,
end
they're
of
worth
the
more.
day.
They're worth more dead than alive.
No, some of them is worth more alive than dead.
Let's take a
Believe
look
me.
at this. I'll show you what I'm talking about.
No,
George
I'll get you.
Chidey has been making some observations lately about hip hop, the hip hop world. He recently commented on the government RICO case against Young Thug, that's down in Georgia. Nothing that recently, nothing that the recent deal making the feds have been making with Young Thug's co-defendants means that Atlanta artist was the main target. Let's take a look at this. And he says, now the journalist is alluding to the fact that the rise in murders of hip hop artists may be due to the record labels taking out predatory life insurance policies on them, meaning the artist could be worth more to the label dead than alive. He's been talking about this and putting it out because he's found, and there's a whole list of record companies. It would blow your mind that these artists who were gunned down in restaurants, who were shot and killed brutally in the streets, that the record companies, when they died, got millions of dollars off some of the very artists that we talking about.
Yeah, then you got cats like Jay-Z. Like, how is Jay-Z connected to everybody who dies, bro?
You
Like,
don't.
they wanted what they don't tell you is XXX. They wanted him to sign a management deal to Rock Nation after he died. He Jay-Z told XXX mom sign a deal with us and we could get his merch out, sell the t-shirts at Walmart and Target, put his albums on vinyl and you know what I'm saying, make it collector's items and all types of shit. Jay-Z. He's
Yeah.
connected to everything. Lear
So
Cohen, huh?
exactly. Killer Car. No, Dame didn't have a meeting with the record companies. It was a secret meeting that was held again by Dame Dash, Suge Knight, Jermaine Dupri, Jay Prince, and Irv Gotti. And they were going to form a black publishing company. But the thing that really set it off, they were trying to form a union. The union would provide health care for artists, so artists didn't have to rap if they were sing, or you didn't have if you were sick, you didn't have to sing. A lot of times Whitney Houston was sick, she had to try and sing. People were talking about she didn't have no voice. They didn't tell you the woman was sick, that they wouldn't give her a day off. She had to go out there and do it anyway. So they were trying to form a union so these people would have insurance and a host of other things. The record company has insurances when you die, but these artists have no insurance. That's part of the reason why Michael Jackson had to pay a doctor $150,000 a month, and he paid the doctor in cash.
Yep.
And we got Ramona Freeman saying Jay-Z did the same thing to Nipsey. That's what Afghanistan said in the very beginning. He did. But Nipsey put the book out showing these guys how to become bosses and not just let the culture rip them off with his book, Culture Vulture. And which is still, it's a book that influenced King Von. Look at the people that. It's a book that influenced Mo3. It's a book that influenced all those young men that you know died, Young Dolph, and they became bosses with big money instead of becoming addicted to the culture. And that's what pissed them off. Even that's right, Ramona. Ramona said that's what pissed them off, and not just pissed them off, and that's why they kill these rappers as fast as they can sign. I mean, you could sign a contract and get $1 million today. They don't care. You gave predatory life insurance. By Friday, you dead. That's why we hear about these rappers that we never heard of before. I did an investigation in that. I'm like, why every day we hearing about a rapper from Philadelphia or a rapper from here, and we ain't never heard none of their music, anything. Maybe people around the way heard they rapper, but here's what we did find out, that many of those rappers did sign to a company. As soon as they signed, within a week of them signing, they were killed. And that record company that they signed to got paid.
Hey, y'all better pray for what's that cat name? Larry June, because that dude just went on a major tour. He's the first artist. He's the first artist to go on a major tour without a record deal. You know what I'm saying? He's selling merch out without a record deal. He's doing everything without a record deal.
And he making money because he's following Dane's blueprint, and all his streams and stuff are coming to him. It's the money he's making is coming to him, and he's doing a tour, and he's showing people that he's not going to let these culture vultures come in and rip them off. You know, as I said earlier in the show, and I'll say it again tonight, I don't see anybody black in the Latino community writing about Latinos are trying to invade their community. I don't see anybody black writing mob stories about the Italians. I don't see anybody black writing mob stories about the Irish. I don't see anybody black interfering in any other culture at all, period, whatever. Why is it, and I want y'all to answer this in the chat, why is it that every other culture is involved with everything we do? We just learned that Paula Deen can't cook, that the whole time Paula Deen was talking about she was cooking, she had a black woman in the kitchen cooking, and they ain't never paid that black woman to this day. The recipes she claimed are hers, it has been validated and verified that those recipes come from an African-American woman who she pretended was her best friend, but guess what? She never gave this woman a dime. She's sitting down there in Tennessee with that huge restaurant and put this sister back there cooking and making all that chicken and all that food, pretending as if it's hers, but it's a black woman, you can look it up, that is actually making the food in that restaurant. And you know, why is it they in our cooking, they in our dancing? Right now, tonight, somewhere in our community, some people are dancing and doing something, and people who are not even a part of our culture is there, you know, looking at them, trying to see how can they profit off every move we make, every breath we take, every song we write, any new thing coming out of there. And that's what Suge Knight was trying to tell y'all. Suge Knight was trying to tell you they don't have to go to Hollywood because the talent was in the hood. And that's why he was signing everybody in the hood. He became the Don King of the hood. You couldn't sign nobody because whether he could pay them or not, he already had them signed to death row. And so therefore that brought the record companies and forced them to talk to Mr. Knight because they saw this talent in this black person and they had to talk to him because he already had him signed. He became the Don King of music. That's what Don King did. They didn't want to have nothing to do with Don King. I can't think of the guy's name, Al, whatever his name is. He's a Jewish guy, and that Jewish guy had pretty much had taken over boxing and making all the money in boxing. People wouldn't make no money in boxing, so Don King just went and signed everybody. They wouldn't talk to Don King. They wouldn't didn't pay him no attention or anything. But I'll tell you what he did. He signed every boxer there was. And so therefore, that forced these people to come down and talk to Don King. There wouldn't have been no George Foreman without Don King. There wouldn't have been a Muhammad Ali without Don King. There wouldn't have been I don't think the level Mike Tyson went to without Don King. Don King didn't steal any money, in my opinion, from Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson blew it. I don't know how you can have a fight for $10 million and then you go to a person and say, you know what, I want all $10 million up front before I even fight, whether I win or lose, and he give it to you. Okay, you win the fight. You looking for $10 million. He said, I gave you that. That's what you used to buy your mama house, is what you used to buy your house with. How you gonna come in here now and say you want 10 more million? You was only getting 10 million for this fight, and I gave you the 10 million before you even fought. And a lot of people did that, and they want to blame Don King for being a crook. Now, when the other racists was doing it, and they didn't even pay, they turned the mob on you and didn't pay you, and they paid you what they wanted. There was nothing you can do. Not one complaint came. Not one complaint at all came. And this is one of the reasons why Dame Dash did this book, so he could show you how we as a people, our culture has been ripped off significantly. Our culture has been stripped of everything. I heard a guy say, a black man invented the red light. And so a white man invented the ticket. I heard a man, I heard a black guy say, he said, a black man invented the light bulb. He said, but a white man invented the light bill. Okay, what was that? Ramona Freeman says, the Paula Deen situation ain't no surprise. Sounds like the issue with the post-slavery Reconstruction era. The white people stealing black people's ideas and using them for themselves. Exactly what I'm talking about. And that's the reason why Dame Dash did this book up in front of you, so you would know to get your patents, you would know to get your masters, have your music copyright written, and not just copyright written in America, but have it internationally copyright written and stuff of that nature. What's up, Philly Bill? You know we always strong when we feel it strong. You just hollered, huh? Yeah, I know you did. We just hollered. Kyrie says you just hollered. So yeah, Philly, we ain't talking about why they're trying to keep Dame Dash broke. And so I've been like doing some research, and they really hate the fact that Dame Dash opened the eyes of these young rappers. You know, at one time, these guys weren't even looking for a deal. They was just they became rich in their local towns and stuff like that. And you know, they became better than most people. They're making money off their gift. And then Dame Dash did this book, and they started reading about signing with companies. And the biggest problem that these companies ran into was none of these artists would give up their masters. They wouldn't do it. They know that the money was not in rapping on a record. The money is with the person who owns their masters. And so you had, like we were sharing, people like Extension, XXX, him, he wanted his okay. Oh, what's up? Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. How your mom and dad doing? Tell them I said hi. I ain't seen them in a long time. They ain't came through. Tell them to come through. Yeah, so all these rappers wanted to keep their masters, and it became a serious problem with the recording industry, and partly the fault would be Dame Dash writing in this. That's good, man. You tell him I said hi. You tell him I said hi. I'm glad that they're doing good. But holla at their boy. And so a lot of these rappers are going in, they're not just signing deals, but you got to make sure that they own their own masters. Now, if you look at a lot of the rappers who died over the past 4 or 5 years, a lot of them owned their own masters. Yeah, Von owned his own masters until Kayla, his sister, I think they say she gave him back the dirt. That's what they say, Killer Car, that she gave him back the dirt, and I don't know what her reasons was thinking, about that, because that's where the money is. But of course, she don't know nothing about the music business. But she gave him back the dirt, probably because she didn't want that smoke. Because, this stuff has been going on all the way back since Otis Redding. A lot of problem with Otis Redding and them were leaving Ohio, and they were flying to Madison, Wisconsin. Otis Redding had just did his record. What's up, Lucius 7071? Over the road, making that money. I dig it. Keep trucking. A lot of the people don't even know that when he died, the next week, they released his smash hit, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, which really rocked the charts for a long time, sealing that Otis Redding was definitely the king of soul music. But there was a problem with Otis Redding. Otis Redding did not want to let the record company have his masters. And nobody wants to talk about that, because I still believe that's the reason why their plane crashed. And most people don't even know that the Bar-Kays was Otis Redding's band. And out of all those people, only one member of the Bar-Kays survived that plane crash, mysteriously. Plane crash mysteriously. They won't blame it on fog and stuff like that. Otis Redding was fighting to keep his masters and stuff too. And let's not forget about Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was also Sam Cooke got two problems. They'll tell you Motown and stuff was the first big black label. That's not true. The first big black record label was Sam Cooke. And Sam Cooke put it at the top of the Empire State Building on the last floor. And the mob kept telling them to get out of that building. They didn't want a black person up there. Sam Cooke said no. And then they wanted his masters, and Sam Cooke said no. And then we see what happened to Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was killed as well too. And so now they took Dane's record company, and years later he decided to share how he became a boss with people and share about culture vultures. And in this book is the reason why, in my own personal opinion, Nipsey Hussle's dead, probably FBG Duck, King Von, Young Dolph, mainly because of this book. I'm not saying somebody else didn't kill them, but you can bet that all these guys, Extension, Mo 3, what these guys had in common was that these guys owned their own masters. And so when you own your own masters like that, the record companies, this is what they do. Here you clearly have George Chidi, and he's writing, letting you know that labels have a predatory life insurance payout strategy, and they are targeting artists most likely to die. So they go out and get these artists who are representing a set from the beginning. This is the whole reason why the record industry had what's up, Browning, in the building. This is why the record industry had their own secret meeting. And their own secret meeting was had because they wanted to change from the rap music that, let's say, Biggie and Tupac was doing. Biggie and Tupac was rapping, and they may have been rapping about gangster lifestyle, but the record industry was changing at that same time. And what were they changing to? Hey, Grace, how you doing? Good to see you. What were they changing to? The record industry was changing, saying, okay, we got too much trouble with Tupac, too much trouble with Biggie. Biggie was making boss moves. He had already started his company already, was going to put out Little C's in them. But these guys rapped about a gangster lifestyle, but they really weren't gangsters. So the record industry, and he talked about this too, which is one of the reasons I believe he died. I never forget. I talked to Mayor Omar Bradley, the mayor of Compton, California. Mayor Bradley is on Facebook, and you can go and subscribe to Mayor Bradley. Mayor Bradley is a wealth of knowledge. I really pray that he does a book and share his knowledge. He was the mayor of Compton while Eazy-E was there. And I remember him telling the story how he met with Eazy-E just before Eazy-E died. That's why I wondered why the kids, I don't know how those kids call themselves doing a documentary and they didn't put Mayor Omar Bradley in it, because Mayor Omar Bradley know more than what y'all think he know about the West Coast, the rap and all that stuff, the Compton Police Department. Nevertheless, let me just say this. So Mayor Bradley told a story how Eazy-E came to talk to him and told him that he was no longer going to, start, he wasn't going to be calling women bitchs in his music and stuff like that. He wasn't going to do it anymore. He was going to start highlighting the good things about living in Compton and things of that nature and stuff like that. And he was really serious about it. All you got to do is look at the Bone Thugs and Harmony and listen to their music, and you could see that Eazy-E was definitely making a change in his music. Bone Thugs and Harmony didn't have to come out and calling people out their names, swearing and talking about killing anybody. Crossroads is still one of the most classic songs of all time to this day. That was the last thing that Eazy-E put out. And so therefore you could see the direction that he was going in. And I personally believe that is one of the reasons why the record industry wanted to move Eric Wright out of the business, because he was taking Ruthless Records in a different direction. He realized that you didn't have to swear and cuss and down the African American woman in the community. And he went to Mayor Omar Bradley and said he wasn't going to do it. And shortly after that meeting with Omar Bradley, Eazy-E died. Now, why the kids do a documentary and don't have Omar Bradley in there to tell this story, I don't have the slightest idea. But I do have the slightest idea, because the people who behind it probably didn't want Mayor Bradley to share that story with nobody. So Eazy-E became aware that we had culture vultures as well too. Yes, he became aware that there were culture vultures, and he became aware that the record industry was changing. And in the process of changing, they were changing from rappers who could rap about gangster rap, and they began to seek real gangsters that rapped. So therefore, these real gangsters that rap would actually rap about gangster stories and gangster things that they really did, and that was supposed to make them look more gangster. No, what it did was brought them in the eye of the police, and they have changed some rules, and now you could rap about something and something could happen and go down, and if it's in your record, they could charge you with it. It's amazing to look at that trial in the YSL trial in Georgia with Young Thug, and look at them prosecutors don't know what they're doing at all, period. Look how crooked the Atlanta legal system is. It's amazing to watch that. But it's more important that they have no evidence at all whatsoever. This shouldn't even be a trial, a waste of Atlanta's taxes, a waste of the state of Georgia's money. They have no evidence at all. And basically, what their evidence was, they were going to try the man based on his rap music only. So they came up with another plan, and their plan was to intimidate other people like Woody. You see Woody there, and they took Woody and they put Woody and threatened to put him in jail if he didn't get up there and say what they wanted him to say, because they had no evidence. What's up, Killer Car?
What's up? What's up, Tanique?
You got the best hand, man. Throw that knowledge out here.
Shoot, man. I mean, the topic about Dame Dash, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Dame, man. I think he know a lot of stuff, man. He know a lot of secrets.
But one thing about him, he ain't no snitch, and he not rocking with no snitch. And what happened to him and Jay-Z, I don't blame Dame Dash. Jay-Z signed with Desiree Perez. Desiree Perez is a certified snitch who brought down the Medellin cartel. And
Right.
Dame Dash cannot mess with a woman that's a snitch and then go back to his hood where he from. Now maybe you can, but I understand what he's saying. I'm from Chicago. You are not gonna snitch and go back to a set, not a real set, and get away with it. It's not gonna happen. So when Jay brought this woman on who is a bona fide snitch with the Medellin cartel, who's since then been rebuilt, why would Dame want to fool with that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even D Haven, he spoke on some stuff Jay-Z was involved in.
Yeah, but have you seen him lately?
Talking about D Haven.
Yeah, have you seen him since he started talking? Ain't
I
nobody
I
asked
think
you
he,
what? Go ahead.
nah, go ahead. What it's your channel,
I ain't
bro?
heard
Go
nobody
ahead.
asking where DeHaven was since he started talking about what happened to him. Ain't nobody asking him where he's been. I mean, he blew up on YouTube and stuff when he got out, telling what happened to him, how his boy wasn't there for him. But in the past couple of years, I ain't seen DeHaven on anybody's channel. You?
I think he got a YouTube channel.
Well, it's certainly not really blowing up. We had to go find him, but we didn't at first. He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
He
I
was
think it's
everywhere.
yeah. I was picking back on that meeting that you was talking about with Suge and all them. I mean
Yeah.
that could have been the biggest, most powerful black publishing company of all time.
And union, and which is important. You know, I've been in music all my life, and there is no union. So therefore, without no union, we have no medical care. Musicians, singers, when you get sick, you just sick, dog. They don't care. You got to get up there and play with 104 fever. They don't even care at all. Period. And if you can't play, you don't get paid, regardless what the situation is. A lot of artists who go on tour wind up in debt because something happened, and what they were trying to do would have definitely changed music industry forever.
Yeah, I think like on what you were saying, like with the unions, the powers that be, they hate union.
They do. They hate union bad, but unions have always worked in the protection for minorities. I tell people all the time, my father built the Sears Tower in Chicago, the Standard Oil building. He built Marina City, Lake Point Towers, the NBC building. He built all those buildings. But you know what? When they moved here from Mississippi, none of that would have happened had it not been for Teamsters. My father worked directly with Jimmy Hoffa, knew Jimmy Hoffa, and even knew Jimmy Hoffa's son, Jimmy Hoffa Jr. He was a part of Teamsters forever, but they the ones who got those jobs for black men. They went to fight and got black men those jobs. And
I guess.
um, huh?
Nah, I was about to say that's good.
And he received a check up until the day. Well, no, he received. My mom got money from Teamsters. Like 3 years after he died, they still sent my mom money. Teamsters did for the work that my
Hey,
father
that's
put
good.
in. Now
Hey, that's a
imagine.
blessing right there.
It is, but imagine with the billions and billions of dollars that music generate, and the people who sing it don't have no representation. What do you think about that?
I mean, it goes back to what you said. It needs to be a union in the music industry. Like somebody need to be representing all the artists and make sure they don't get screwed over as far as their record deals.
So, what do you think about the snitches who snitched on that?
You talking about what you mean snitches?
Well, didn't nobody know that they were having the meeting until somebody from Rockefeller and allegedly somebody from Bad Boys, what they say, told these big record companies that a secret meeting was had. And once they told the record companies in one day, Rap-A-Lot, Death Row, uh, Irv Gotti's record company, Jermaine Dupri, were all raided by the FBI in one day.
Hey, but Tanique, me and you both know who did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do you think about the two who snitched?
I mean, both of them blew up. Think about it.
Yeah,
Puff and Jay-Z, they
yeah, and
ended
both
up being.
and both of them are mysteriously billionaires.
That's what I was about to say. Like both of them made it to billionaire status. So like in return for them snitching, they ended up being the gatekeepers of hip hop.
The gatekeepers of hip hop.
I mean, think about it. Ain't nobody in the music industry or the rap community got more power than Jay-Z.
Yeah, well, did you say the gay keepers of hip hop?
Yeah, Puffy and Jay-Z are the gatekeepers.
GAY, gatekeepers.
Nah, I didn't say gay. I said gay.
Oh, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, and I'm just saying, and that would have been a beautiful thing, especially the black publishing part, where more artists would have got a part of their music. Because if you don't own the publishing and you're not the producer of that, because only the producer and the publisher, the only person who owns the publishing is going to really make any money. People don't know this. I can write you a song and you do it, and that song can go #1, and within 2 weeks, I'm moving into a mansion and you still in the hood because you
Yeah,
don't own the masters and you didn't produce it. That's wrong.
yeah. I think owning your publishing and master should be #1. Like as of right now.
So when Dame put this book out, they didn't think anything about it because they don't think black people read books. But you know what? Today's surprise, Young Dolph, Extension, Mo3, King Von, and a host of other people, probably FBG Duck, all read this book and all wanted to own their masters and wouldn't let up
Right.
off of it.
I mean, Tanique, to change to jump to another subject. Like speaking of Chicago, man, I want to see you do a video on Von and Duck.
Well, yeah, you know what? That's just well, FBG Duck is my favorite drill rapper, no question about that. I think he's the greatest drill rapper to come out of Chicago. And I don't think I want to do no video on people who are being praised for murdering people and kill people. I mean, I'm just being real with you. In my opinion, his Von's reputation as a killer in the streets and killing people for nothing supersedes any music he ever did.
I mean, but what about like a little mini documentary? Being that you from Chicago, I think people can relate to you a lot more than a average person. You feel me?
Yeah, but those are kids. They're not even old as my grandkids. So therefore, I wouldn't even want to step into their world. They don't even know anything about. I met Larry Hoover. I knew David Barksdale. They ate greens at my mother's house. David Barksdale like one of my other sisters, and Larry Hoover like one of my other sisters. You know, and so I knew these people. I knew Willie Lord. And my mother used to preach to David Barksdale and to Larry Hoover, and my auntie used to preach to Willie Lord on the West Side. So these are people that I knew. And so therefore, these kids who don't really know them, their fathers know them, but the fathers can't do anything, or the FBI swoop in and charge them with mob action and put them back in jail. That's why you don't see these older OGs saying anything. Y'all don't know that they have something hanging over their head. They can't intervene at all, not even with their own sons, because if it's found out, they will go back to prison. So they're forced to sit back and watch their sons do this. You don't think Big Dirk want to say to Little Dirk, hey man, don't think about it. Dirk lost his brother, man. Think about it. You don't think he know this and want to say, look, he can't, because if he did, they'll put him back in prison. Now I've seen it happen in Chicago, and that's why you don't see the older guys saying much. You see one or two talking about the old days, but they're not going to get involved with the young guys because this was a plan set up by the FBI. This is another part of population control. This is another part of black identity extremists. This is why if you wearing dreads, because all these rappers mostly wear dreads and they're saying about shooting and killing people, you automatically considered guilty. Automatically.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I think that's stereotype. That's a bad stereotype.
it is, but if a crime go down, the person, if it's African American, 90% he has dreads in there.
Yeah.
It works against you, but that's what they want. My point in saying that, I just don't think I, I just don't think I would want to do a video on King Von and praise him for any murder at all. Period. I don't
Not
praise murders on this particular channel. I don't praise anything like that at all. Period. I watched the change in Duck. I kind of got to watch Duck kind of grow up, and I watched Duck start to pleading with the gangsters to stop shooting innocent children in Chicago. He joined the 2020 campaign, saying, "Look, you know what? If you see a person with their children, get that person a pass." And I thought that was really wonderful coming from a G to tell people to don't shoot nobody with their child. You see old bro some other time, but with their children, give them a pass. And I think that's a lot of reason why they killed Duck. They killed Duck because Duck was really trying to get away from drill music and get to real music. Listen to some of his other music. He ain't talking about a dead beat. He's just rapping music. Music is good. And he was trying to get away from that, but there's just people and elements who won't let you get away from that. We think about Julio Fulio. When I listen to Julio Fulio, I hear a kid who could really rap. And I wonder what his music would have been like had he not started talking about those people who died. And I think we miss out on so much because they didn't want to hear him rap about dancing or about smoking weed. They wanted him to rap about the other ops, and they did loved ones. That was all that record companies would let him do. But when you listen to his music, the music is good, man, really good music. And you know that he could have put other words there and sold even more records. So therefore, I would never do a video on Chicago because it's too much about murders. So I said it early before you came on, that the music industry no longer wanted rappers like Tupac. They no longer wanted rappers like Biggie because they had to take other people's stories and rap about them because they weren't gangsters. Tupac was a born activist, born in the Black Panther Party. And you heard Biggie's Juicy and stuff like that. I love it when you call me Big. But these guys weren't talking about killing people. They didn't want that. What they wanted was real gangsters who would rap about real things that they did so the police can charge them. So now,
yeah, that was NWA.
Exactly. But now with these guys, like one of the things I always say about Nip Hussle is when you listen to his rap, man, I used to wonder, like, why would this guy be telling this? His stories are true. One of the things that I thought that passed people was when Firebug met Nipsey Hussle at that juice bar when he was going to get a juice for his grandmother.
Yeah.
And Firebug was surprised to find out that the rap that Nipsey had did, that he was the one who did it because he never knew who it was. He was in shock that the shootout he was in was with Nipsey Hussle. He said they went back and forth, but he never knew who it was. And Nip put it out there in the song. And shortly after meeting Firebug the next day, Nipsey Hussle would be dead.
Yeah. I think, man, even with like the whole Nip situation, I mean, I want to ask you something about that too, Tanique. Like, what do you think the conversation was with Eric Holder accusing Nipsey of snitching? Because obviously he accused Nipsey of snitching that day.
Well, if what Black Sam said was true, and he accused Nipsey of snitching, Nipsey definitely was gonna stand on business. Ain't no question about that. If he walked up there and did that, Nipsey was gonna stand on business. That's just common sense. But I don't believe he did. The question remains: is what they're saying true? Did Nipsey tell Firebug that he had some snitching stuff on him? That's what the question is. And if that's true, then you got a problem, because in California politics, when you call somebody a pedophile and you call somebody a snitch, Eric Holder did what you're supposed to do. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that was when I was in California in the late 80s. Those were the rules, bro. Two things you couldn't call somebody. You couldn't call them a pedophile, and you couldn't call them a snitch. You call them a snitch or a pedophile, they had to stand on business. So the question remained, did Nipsey Hussle call Eric Holder a snitch, and was he a snitch? Ain't nobody to this day ever told me what was it that Eric Holder was supposed to have snitched about. Ain't nobody to this day told me what was it that Nipsey Hussle was supposed to have snitched about. Do you? Do you know?
I heard something this past week, but I don't know if it's true or not.
Please do share.
It was this lady. I guess she from LA. She from the 60s or whatever. But she was saying that the snitching case or whatever, it got something to do with Jay Stone and the dude named Westwood from Rolling 60s.
Yeah, okay, I heard that too. Okay, but what they got to do with Nip Hussle?
Now she was saying that the case involved Eric Holder, Jay Stone, and old dude. She said old dude got killed, and basically, you know what I'm saying, I think dude and Eric Holder, I think had a little problem or issue or something. Cause even his death is kind of fishy. The dude Westwood.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's a theory that you should believe or count on, or like, I don't know. Cause
all I know is going back to the beginning. That's why I kept all the documents I had, thousands of them. In the documents I had, when they was able to flip Cowboy, because at first Cowboy wasn't saying this. Cowboy said that Nipsey told Eric Holder there was some paperwork on him. That's in the beginning. The beginning stuff is what you want to trust. And I got paperwork to prove it. They got Cowboy in jail. Then Cowboy said, okay, Nipsey let Eric Holder know he couldn't be around there because he had papers on him about snitching. Now, this is what
Hold up. So you saying Nips told him he couldn't be around there?
Yeah, because this is what Cowboy said. Because there's some paperwork on him about snitching, and told me he need to go check that out. Under California rules of politics, from when I was there and learned, two things you ain't gonna do to a dude in California. You are not, if you're smart, you're not gonna call him a predator, a pedophile, and you're not gonna call him a snitch unless you can prove it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you
call him a paperwork though.
That's what I'm saying. So if you call him a snitch, then Eric Holder, under California rules, did what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stand on business. That's Chicago stand on business. If a person called you a snitch and you ain't a snitch, and you would have said, bro, you got to stand on business. And if you don't stand on business, that means you're a snitch. Now, to this day, I've heard nothing about what Eric Holder's supposed to have snitched on, and I've heard nothing about what kind of paperwork that Nipsey was talking about that Eric Holder had on him. It just never came forth. And I want to know why.
I think the topic, it was definitely about snitching. It's just his girl, that girl that was driving, man, she is very, very important. Because she's seen everything.
Yeah, even that's if why she gave her immunity. She's so important. They gave her immunity.
Yeah, like, man, how you see the dude loading the gun? Why the world would you even drive back around there? You should have just took him home or dropped him off somewhere. Like, I don't understand that. She know they just left around there. He about to go back around there.
How about you should have never came? I'm telling you, you see me with my guns, I'm finna go stand on business. And you gonna get in the car with me? Now, everybody else I've seen over the past 3 or 4 years who's riding in a car with somebody and somebody shot somebody, they got charged with the murder too.
Yeah, she's supposed to get hit with accessory. Even if you're not gonna hit her with the max, she supposed to at least do about 5 to 7 years, something. Like, she supposed to do something, bro.
Man, that chick
Cause
going out to the hospital, taking the baby. She had an Eric Holder, let him see the baby, everything, man.
yeah, she's the getaway driver, bro. You the getaway driver. How the world she get immunity and now she in witness protection, right?
No, she getting to go see Eric Holder, taking him to see the baby she had and everything.
Oh, so they had a baby.
Yeah, she's pregnant, remember?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she
I
bought
thought
him
she
some
was in witness
cigarettes,
protection.
stayed at the hotel with him, took him to the doctor. She hung out with him for a few days, knowing that he killed somebody. That
Hey,
was a crime by itself.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Hey, Tanique, I want you to watch this Al Prophet. He made a
Yeah,
video on the situation too.
yeah, I watch him.
Oh, he spoke on the Eric Holder situation. He was saying Eric Holder he's not even in the prison. He's in a mental health hospital.
Well, I already did that video a long time ago. Remember? He's living good. I'm saying, get to see it. He don't want to get out of the hospital. Listen, I promise you, Afghanistan gone. He can bear witness. If Eric Holder wanted to get out right now, he could. Why do it when you're living like a king?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you get out, somebody would stand on business. But he's in there. You can see his kid, everything, and live like a king off the taxpayers.
Yeah. Hey, I'm
Why,
gonna use the bathroom real quick, Tanique.
why ain't he did a video? But however, you know, like part of the problem with Nip is that Nip was one of the people who read Dame Dash's book, you know, and got the information he needed. And I think that the book took him even further than the music industry. I think he applied some of this knowledge to even his business, the Marathon store. I mean, when you look at the information that Dame put in his book, and then you look at what them boys were able to do with that Marathon store and turn it into a smart store where you could scan tags and learn about music that was coming out before time and stuff like that. You can see these guys made some boss business moves. They made boss business moves that other people did after them, but they did it first. And you could see that this book that Dame Dash put out really showed young cats how to really be hustling and make their money. And that is one of the reasons why they want to keep Dame Dash broke, because Dame Dash is a teacher and Dame Dash is sharing unbelievable information with people who want to be a part of this business. Like I say, recently it was revealed, I think a couple of years ago, that when Aaliyah died, there was a huge insurance check. You know, we talked earlier, you know, when she died, somebody cashed a huge insurance check. Nobody talked about that. So even I guess she had what this author is talking about, predatory life insurance. That these guys
Hey,
are signing record deals. They may get 2 million, may get 3 million, but some record companies have had upwards of $100 million on an artist, may have given them 5, and then they had 95 left over, and those artists died. And the record company gets to keep that money and don't even share it with the family. $95 million on a life that you know is going to die anyway. And the reason I said he know he was going to die was because not only did they sign him, but they signed the ops that they was fighting against in this city too. So now both y'all signed, and y'all gonna start throwing at each other. Eventually, y'all gonna meet, and something bad gonna happen. And guess who gets paid? The industry gets paid, and you got, of course, George Chitey, you know, talking about this and letting people know that these insurance companies, that these record companies had these predatory life insurance payouts. You know, and he's saying here, let's read this part. Now, the journalist is alluding to, we're talking about George Chitey, he's alluding to the fact that the rise in murders of hip hop, this is him, not me, the rise in the murders of hip hop artists may be due to the record labels taking out predatory life insurance policies on them, meaning that the artist could be worth more to the label dead than alive. This man has done his research and saw this. Now I can tell you who said this before anybody. The person who said this before anybody was Shaka Khan. That's why she's been going through. She was on Piers Morgan's show talking about Whitney Houston and revealed to Piers Morgan that her manager came to her and looked at her and said, "You're not worth anything to me." He said to her, "You're worth more money to me dead than you are alive." And that's part of the reason she moved out of America. She moved out of America for that reason, because somebody in the music industry told her that she was worth more dead than alive. Now, how would you like to hear that? And you sitting up, your homegirl sitting upstairs, laying on the floor dead, and we don't even know to this day, was there a cash payout for Whitney Houston or not? I think that would be interesting. What you think?
I mean, with the Whitney Houston situation, bro, they did her dirty because I mean they continued to party while she was laying up there dead in the room. Like and they drowned her. So like, and I think Ray J, he was the eyewitness. He's the number one witness because he was with her, right?
That's what they say. They caught him coming out of there. He was doing some running for her. That's what Leola Brown said. He was her runner to go get some drugs and stuff like that. But however, the fact remains that, let's take Tupac for instance. People have been saying for years that Tupac has a $75 million insurance policy that, as of today, that still hasn't never been cashed. How come that ain't been cashed?
I don't know. Maybe his family or his estate got it.
No, it ain't never been cashed. You know why? Because only the person that killed him could cash it. Because that would be the person who took the insurance policy out. If somebody cashed
Interscope,
out
right?
insurance, huh?
Talking about Interscope.
Well, who knows if it's Interscope or if it's Death Row? Who knows? We know this, that it was one there and it ain't been cashed. But whoever cashed it would give you a huge clue on who helped put this young man's shooting into place. So somebody wrote a check that they can't cash. That check just sitting there. And to this day, it ain't been cashed. 75 million.
I'm saying though, so then Whitney, she died in 2012, right?
Something like that. Yeah, February 2012, I think.
And Michael Jackson died 2009.
Exactly. And as soon as he died, Whitney did a video about him, how bad he looked and all that stuff. Then she died a couple of years later.
3 years apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
yeah, they go the numbers.
And Prince died because he was once again telling artists that he was not going to do any music with them if they didn't own their own masters. He started talking the same thing that Dame was talking.
You know who owns Prince masters right now?
I know the state of Minnesota get a huge cut.
Nah, Jay-Z got possession of Prince left his master with Jay-Z.
Yeah, don't you remember? No, he didn't. Prince signed with Tidal. I got to do the Prince story. Prince signed with Tidal, thinking that Tidal was a black streaming company. Only after he signed, he realized that Jay-Z was the front, and the same industry that he fought to get his music back from actually owned Tidal. And so on his Twitter page, he put an image of a gangster when it came towards somebody. And then a few days later, after he put that image there, he died.
Yeah. Cause you remember Jay-Z's? Well, he sold Tidal or sold half of it, right?
He never sold it. He never owned it. He was just the front face. That's what they use him for. And that's why a lot of black people are not into him when he got involved with NFL and stuff. They use him like, oh, he owns Tidal. People believe that, but actually Tidal was owned by the record company. He just put those numbers out in the paper. Oh, we paid him $700 million for time. Man, Tidal was a waste of time. Didn't nobody sign up for that.
So he made some money off. He owned some of it.
A lot of those numbers, man, are overinflated. I could go on networth.com and say Killer Car's worth $150 million. They're going to print it and not even verify whether that is true. And man, somebody was looking to kill you because they're going to see you on there worth $150 million. They just put that stuff out there.
Yeah, but I ain't no celebrity. I ain't famous.
If somebody put on there, you worth $150 million, you're going to become a celebrity that day.
Hey, If I can hit that Mega Millions, I definitely will.
Yeah, Cedric Page got it right. He was a figurehead, just like the Brooklyn Nets deal, which destroyed all those homes that black people used to live in. They moved to California. He's supposed to be a native of New York, and destroyed all those homes and stuff, projects and stuff, and moved to California. Left the people in New York homeless and stuff like that.
Hey, do you believe that he owned the building at one point in time? The arena, the Barclays Arena?
I think he may own a couple of percent of it. Like, a lot of black Magic Johnson owns some of the Lakers, 10% of the Lakers. He owns more of the Dodgers, but he grew to gain the industry's respect, and they let him buy more of the Dodgers. But no, I don't believe he owned no big giant stake in anything. As long as he stayed
Yeah,
the face of hip hop and can keep Beyonce in control. Beyonce getting old, man.
yeah, because I think he sold his stake in the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for him being an NBA agent.
You got Cedric Page telling us down here now. He had very little share in it. He was on like 3%. It wasn't that much in it at all. Period.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
Russian
but
guy was pretty cool, but then he sold it. Remember, the Russian guy had it. The Russian guy
yeah,
had it, but he sold it, and so the Nets ain't been the same since that Russian guy let it go.
yeah, but I mean, what about that champagne deal that he got though? The Ace of Spades.
I ain't never
That's
even
what
seen
he.
a bottle of that, man. I've been to pretty high-ranking events, and I still ain't never even seen one of those bottles in no places I've been at, man.
Hey, look, so Tanique, speaking of Dame Dash and Rockefeller, what you think about the Rockaware deal that Jay-Z did that Dame Dash didn't get nothing? I mean, he sold Rockaware for 200 million, and he didn't
Yeah,
give
he did.
Dame nothing.
That was Rockaware was Dame Dash's, while Dame had Rockaware. Um, a good person to tell you this whole story, who was actually there, would be Choke No Joke. Choke No Joke was a part of that when that whole thing went down. And piggybacking off something he said that when he offered Big told him that was, some weak stuff, he didn't want to be a part of it. And Jay-Z joined and became a part of it. And he said Dame by himself was wearing the t-shirts and hats, and Dame was earning $400 million a year by himself. But again, they told, about that secret meeting, and Dame lost everything. Regardless, as they're bringing back the 40/40 Club. Well, they shouldn't have never lost it. That was financial trouble. Checks bounced and everything with the 40/40 Club. Why bring it back? It failed the first time. It's going to fail the second time around. Now you're older anyway. You ain't got control over the industry no more. These young guys ain't listening to you. And your wife is up there in age, and she ain't comparing to some of these other younger people and artists coming out. That control ain't what it used to be no more. People don't want to see these people no more.
I'm about to say, Dame, he got to have some money now. That nigga ain't broke.
No, I think personally, in my own opinion, as long as Kanye West will stay a billionaire, he would always take care of Dame Dash, because Dame is the only reason why Kanye is out there. Because Jay-Z wanted Kanye to write, he didn't want Kanye to rap. There was no place for a person like Kanye. So Kanye claim to fame will always be he created a billionaire rapper.
Also, Dame signed Kanye, not
Dame,
Jay-Z.
right? When Jay-Z took that company, Kanye didn't even give Dame Dash an invitation to his opening of his rap label. Jay-Z heard about it and went. Dame was there, and Kanye was doing his release party and stuff like that, and he couldn't stop Kanye West. And that was Dame's claim to fame. So I think personally, how Dame is surviving is off Kanye West. That's just me.
Oh, you think he paying him under the table?
Yeah, I think he's paying him under the table, and I think that he's holding Dame down. Which brings me back to the topic tonight that I was talking about, why they want to keep Dame Dash broke. The judge, now Dame Dash, the last part of Rockefeller he got, he trying to put it up for auction so he can pay his debts, right?
Yeah.
They stopped the auction, took it to court, and didn't even invite him to court, and stopped the auction. So he couldn't sell his 33 1/3 interest in the Story company. He's trying to sell it. He's not trying to sell it for himself. He's trying to sell it so he can pay his taxes. And they went and stopped the auction for 3 weeks because he actually had some buyers. So now they postponing it, and it discourages anybody who comes forward with money to buy it, so the man can pay his debts. They want to keep him so broke, and he showed them that he know how to hustle, that he can't even do what every American does, pay his taxes, and they won't even let that happen.
Hey, so Tanique, do you believe he owed the state of New York $8.7 million?
No, the older state. I think those numbers are just made up. That's the problem with taxes. They can make up a number and stick you with it. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing at all. Dame owed 8.7 million in back taxes. Owes 150K in child support. I don't believe that at all, Rigotti. I believe that those numbers are overinflated. And once again, they're doing everything they can to keep the guy down. And part of the reason is because he appealed to these young rappers to become more than rappers, but to become businessmen. Become, hey Journey, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a second. So if you look at some of these rappers, look at the money that Young Dolph had, look at the money King Von going back to O Block and taking care of everybody on O Block. It's because they own their own masters. Look at the money that Mo 3 was bringing in. It's because he owned his own masters. And so now here they got this problem where these rappers are signed, but they're not signing contracts unless they own their own masters. One of the things that was attractive to rappers about joining Empire was in the first round of your contract, Empire didn't want your masters. Who wouldn't sign with a record company that don't want your masters? And all they wanted was 20%, and they gave you 80%.
Yeah,
that's all they
that
wanted.
money,
Huh?
that money Von took back to O Block, that was advance from Lil Durk.
Yeah, but look, he didn't sign with Lil Durk. King Von signed Empire. The point that I'm saying,
before he signed with Empire.
Yeah, that's all attached into. I ain't gonna go into that, but my point in saying that is, Empire, the way they brought you in there, was in your first contract. They only wanted 20% of the revenues you made. That's it. You could keep your masters. Man, if you
I was signed with Empire, my life was on the line.
Okay, well, go back in the day before we knew what we knew. You come in, Cat come to you and say, you know what? Out of $10 million, all we want is 20%, and you get to keep the rest. And you can keep your masters. Hey, bro, that's a dream come true. And it was the second. Yeah, and it was the second contract, which is usually the sophomore album, is when they changed and said not only do they want these masters, but they want the first ones. And that's when rappers started. That's when rappers started to mysteriously die. They wouldn't. They didn't want to give masters.
I think, man, just with the music industry in general, I think they just need to go back to CDs and just forget about streaming, because music was better when it was on CDs and people went out and actually bought the records.
I agree. They wanted to see what numbers they could do first. Exactly. Yeah, you know, I think that streaming would have been cool had it been done right. The problem was streaming was quickly done wrong because the record company started taking over the streaming services. So if the record companies had been streaming and said, okay, well, Killer Car, you know what? We'll give you 25% of every stream. Well, you know what? That would be some serious money. That would be cool. But these artists, like Snoop said he got 1 billion streams and only made $75,000 on 1 billion streams. How?
Yeah. I mean, but think about it. Dr. Dre had a chance to change the streaming game, but he sold out to Apple.
Well, that was a good deal for Dr. Dre all the way around. That's why he's a billionaire. That was a great deal for Dr. Dre all the way around. Apple is fair with him. He gets more money from his music than anybody else on any other platform.
He would have made more money if he never sold, and he would have started Beats as a streaming services like they was planning on doing. It was already a headphone business.
Wouldn't work. That's what Jimmy Iovine talked about. It wouldn't work. They had to sell it to Apple, and they got billions for it. Dre be ever so taken care of for the rest of his life. That's his kind of atmosphere, and he gets more money from his music streaming on Apple than any of these people on these other streaming platforms. Major artists only getting 1 penny per stream. Out of $1, they only get 1 penny.
I think it would have worked though, Tanique, because you gotta think about it. Universal was part of that deal too. You had Universal, Dr. Dre, and Interscope. And you know, Universal, they own a lot of artists publishing. Like I think they own 1/3 of all artists publishing in the whole music industry. So
Yeah,
if you had Universal,
you have Sony up in there. Really, the record industry is not trying to share any money. That's the reason why they do 360 deals now. They want all money you make to come back to them. If you sell T-shirts, it's gonna come back to them. If you sell tickets, it's gonna come back to them. All your endorsements, they get something off of. You're talking about Jay-Z and that champagne thing. Who cares? That most of that money was going back to Live Nation, Rock Nation.
but look, I want to ask you something, Tanique, about the Dr. Dre deal. The deal supposed to have been for $3 billion, right?
I think 4 over the course of 20 years.
Yeah, but that's why I was about to ask. I was like, if it was for $3 billion, how Dr. Dre only got 800 million?
Yeah, because it's over a 20-year period. That's why they're coming out with beats every year now. Different kind of beats every year. It's kind of like an iPhone deal. The iPhone 16 will be out next week, and they're gonna have iPhone 16 beats made by Dre.
Oh, word.
Version of beats.
Yeah, I mean,
the record industry is like the insurance company. Exactly. We already covered that, Cedric. We really did. You mean what?
Nah, I was listening.
No, I was just answering Cedric on that. So the truth of the matter is, basically, they want to keep Dame Dash broke because as long as he stay broke, no more information can get out. But if y'all want to learn more about this industry from a person who's been in it and took it as far as he could take it, you should get his book Dashology, and you should get his book Culture Vulture, which is a book that really changed the course of hip hop and took some of these young gangsters and turned them into businessmen. Nevertheless, to all my subs and to all my followers, I say One Nation.
One Nation.
That's what we see Jay-Z has done. That's what we see Puff has done. The music don't become how you pay the bills. It's a lot of pressure off of it. You got other things bringing in income. You can make music.
This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. Like what the fuck is going on? Who told you that song and did you know all along? And why did your bitch sell that painting 2 weeks after he was gone? I'm gonna tell you what it feels like. It feels a little fishy. Feels like something's going on ever since that John Legend song and college prediction of a Grammy. If you ask me, I can't stand him. Seems a little weird. Question number 1, why is there no blood? Question number 2, Sam left in the AM is true, but you're talking about the shits all up in the afternoon. Don't trip, gonna find out the truth soon. Who did what to who? Did they plan to eat the chili fries or was it just a surprise? Can you see the lies of witness in a cowboy's eyes? Are we gonna just sit here and forget? Are we gonna ride like Nip said? It's a little weird that the judge quit. Handing out immunities like candy makes me sick. I got a lot of unanswered questions like, why is the footage all grit and I can't see shit? Who the fuck is that white man in that white BMW? Probably was the FBI. Yeah, I noticed that white guy, and I noticed the car wasn't in the pictures when they showed them afterwards. They thought we would forget. They got that shit backwards. They weren't expecting me to drop this track and raise all these questions with my Mac words. I'm really mobbing through LA smoking backwoods. I've been doing this shit all my life. TMC, AMI. You might just see an empty parking lot when you ride by. Well, me, I see way more. I see an independently owned store. I see the community taking power back, whether you're white, Mexican, Asian, or black. As long as you're not blue. Good ones, there might be a few, but from my life experience, I'm like, fuck that. I'm not defending Eric, but what's the fucking delay? They requested a quick trial, it's been over 800 days. They try to distract us in so many clever, creative ways. Yeah, you got your Grammy, and now you're a billionaire. But what about the families that are still living there? Seems a little unfair, just a little something to compare. I never seen a fireman wearing a bulletproof vest. Yes, the shit to me seems a little suspect. The shit's a little weird. Crisis actors taking away our fathers, making our child some bastards, killing creative men and women for their masters. The waves that Nip wrote in, you didn't know where to begin. A bunch of new chapters. You didn't think about what would happen after. We would put the pieces together on your transparent bullshit. I can see right through it, like the clear blue sky in the LA sunny weather, where the palm trees swing side to side and we ride together on a white horse or a double R hearse in a foreign car. Either way, you gotta be on guard, because they're on tap for anyone who's brown or black with tats. Everybody sees it, but nobody wants to attack. It's sad if you ask, we all gotta blast back. We're in the game, though we can't touch the ball. Seems a little unfair if you ask me, that's all. So take your ignorant ass to YouTube and type in Tanika Views to get the real news. We're doing the shit for justice, not views. Sharing knowledge and coming together, that's the real tool. He tried to lead us to the lake, so don't sleep on the knowledge that he gave to me and you. He wanted us to learn from his mistakes, so with our new knowledge, good decisions we could make. And also one thing I wanted to say myself, they killed Dr. Sebi because he was teaching health. Assassins, they come in all shapes and sizes, big booties, hips and thighs. Oh, you're Diddy's girl, right? Oh yeah, John Legend, some things happen at your video shoot. I got a couple questions for you. All those strings you pulled, you still can't make a rap hit. You punk ass little bitch, you probably got a little dick. All the shit that you have to did. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face. This new song with Nip and Jay, what the fuck, I got something to say. What a slap in the fucking face.